on this shit like I'm the baddest bitch in the club. I'm here for dominance, I'm being honest, that's what I want. I'll never give up, I want the whole place sold out. My name in every mouth, you know I'm after this shit. Till the world say my motherfucking name. Say my name.
Alright guys, welcome back to Pack of People. And so if you see me, hold on, give me a second. I'm on my light real quick. Yeah, oh yeah, welcome back to Pack of People, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you see me looking up and down, that's because that's because I'm watching AEW in Mexico. So yeah, if you see me looking up and down a little bit, if you see me look up, that means I'm watching AEW on there. So yeah, so just ignore that. But I'll be still doing the reaction because I do want to see this because I like Tony Storm on this show. But anyway, segment page is on right now. Not really important to me as of now. So, but anyways, welcome back to Pack of People, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone's having a lovely Wednesday. As you already know, I already filmed the music reaction. I believe that was my first music reaction, if I'm not mistaken, on the channel. I filmed that and that should be out. That should already be out. So yeah, I think that should already be out. So yeah, I'll put it I'll put it right there. Damn, I don't have a camera. I don't know how to do this, bro. Yeah, it should be just right there somewhere. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it should be at the top there somewhere. I don't fucking know. It should just be right there in the information box. And let's get straight to the channel. Yeah, excuse me, video. So today we are reacting to when the managers. Get the shit on my face. Ah, okay. So yeah, so we'll be reacting to when the managers, fat and untalented son, almost won the Ballon d'Or. He should have won the Ballon d'Or, to be honest with you, Frank. Yeah. And in case you guys don't know, as you see by the thumbnail, this is about Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend. I think he has the most Chelsea goals with. Let me check a look. Let me take a look real quick. I think it's 211. Let me all time. Yeah. I actually have to fact check this real quick. Just give me a second. Also, happy home day. Yeah. I think it's 203 or 11. I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 211. Yeah. Well, yeah, Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend, 211. I believe he's also in there for the top assist, two all-time top assists in the league. I think he's right there too in there. I think he's also in there. So yes, let's get straight to it. Yeah, has the all-time goal scoring for Chelsea, 211 goals, makes him the all-time Chelsea top goal scorer. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Frank Lampard. Shout out to him too in Coventry. Took them from 17th to 4th for third, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'll probably end up putting it right there. Yeah, it should be in right there.
So listen to this. In 1996,
Also, shout out to Daily Dose of Football.
Harry Redknapp was giving a press conference with a young Frank Lampard sitting beside him when a West Ham fan raised his voice and straight up told him that you only play Frank because it's
Oh, also, yeah, I keep forgetting Harry Redknapp is his father. That's what he said, right? Harry Redknapp. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to restart the video. Also, forgive me if the camera is not exactly on the top there. I'm filming on the mic, so I don't exactly know where the camera is placed at.
So listen to this. In 1996, Harry Redknapp was giving a press conference with a young Frank Lampard sitting beside him when a West Ham fan raised his voice and straight up
Yeah, that's
told
the
him
sound.
that you only play Frank because it's your nephew. You let
nephew,
Scott
yeah.
Canham and Matt Holland go for peanuts, but you keep your boy around just to give him free publicity. And when Redknapp hit back by telling him that Scott Canham couldn't even make the team now that he was at Brentford, the fan told him he was lying. After that, Redknapp looked him dead in the eye and told him, I promise you there will be no comparison between what Scott Canham and Frank Lampard will achieve in football. There is no favoritism here. At most, I make his life harder. I didn't want to say this in front of him, but I will tell you now, Frank will go to the very top. Right to the very top. Indeed, Scott Canham will be playing for Cheshire United, an amateur side in the 7th tier just 2 years later. However, when it comes to Frank Lampard Jr., I regret to inform you that the West Ham fans would never truly change their minds about him. Look, I
Yeah,
get
that
it.
one.
Football was created by the poor and stolen by the rich. There's nothing football fans hate more than seeing some posh kid take the spot of someone much
Oh
more
shit.
talented. And when it came to Frank, it all reeked of nepotism. In a 1990s world dominated by the stereotype that footballers were all grunts who could barely read, this was a boy who had grown up in a private school as an honor student. In
Ah,
his own words, the only footballer who can speak Latin, only
oh
ever playing for
shit.
his school's team and dividing his time between football, cricket, and bowling, until
Wow.
his father, Frank Lampard Sr., and his uncle, Harry Redknapp, two
The
former
chills.
West Ham players, took over the club as
Oh.
assistant coach and first team manager, and immediately brought him into their academy, promoting him to the first team the very next season, and only sending him on a 6-month loan to Swansea before giving him his Premier League debut. Yeah, I think we can all understand why the fans would have a hard time believing this was rightfully earned, but this time, the Nepo baby, as the kids say, would turn out to become the best midfielder on the planet, though surely not thanks to the support of any West Ham fans. I mean, sure, if you look up anything written about him at the time, you'll mostly find descriptions like all floppy hair and sideways passes, or
Damn.
podgy, too
Oh,
slow,
bro.
not the worst, but certainly not very gifted. However, the fans, they took it too far. Every time he stood up for a warm-up, chants rained down onto the pitch, telling him to sit back down, calling him Daddy's boy, or most famously, Fat Frank. They raved about
I've
how
heard
he was
about it.
lazy and out of shape, which is hilarious because even though he was certainly a chubby kid, after a couple years being mocked by other players for going on runs wearing a trash bag over his tracksuit, he had clearly
Wait,
sweated
what?
off all the excess weight. And yet,
Damn.
even Terry
Ah,
Brown, the
bloody
club's
hell.
chairman,
Give me a
accused
second,
Redknapp
guys. My headphones just fell. Shit.
of only subbing him in to get his nephew some appearance bonuses. And still, what truly broke Lampard's relationship with the club was when, in a match against Aston Villa, he broke his leg and the fans cheered and applauded. In
Damn.
his own words, they made me
Wow.
feel sick to my stomach. It got to the stage when I
That's
actually thought about
cold,
leaving
bro.
football behind. I would rather work a 9 to 5 than take abuse from 30,000 people every week.
Yo.
But he didn't.
He didn't give up.
Instead,
Yeah.
5 months later, he made it back, jumped in as a sub, and scored the winning goal. A couple months later, he was already getting his first hat trick, even being called
How
up to the
crazy.
England under-21s. And only a year later, he had West Ham up to 5th place, their highest ever Premier League finish, for the
57
first time in their
Wait,
history.
hold on.
Unlike even
Did I
being
say
called up to
Chelsea?
the
Why was
England
Chelsea in there?
under-21s. And only a year later, he had West Ham up to 5th place,
Hey, yo, that's crazy, bro. I don't think won that league that year, though.
their highest ever Premier League finish for the first time in their history, earning them a place in the Intertoto Cup, where Lampard proceeded to score the goal that put them in the semis, then scoring the opener there and the equalizer in the final as they came from behind to secure a place in the UEFA Cup. Suddenly, Daddy's boy was being called up to the national team, having scored more goals for the under-21s than anyone before him, aside from Alan Shearer. By the end of that
crazy.
year, the center midfielder was West Ham's third highest goal scorer, and no matter what, the fans remained unimpressed.
obviously.
Every single match, the same routine went down, and Lampard began daydreaming about leaving. So when they
Yeah,
fell
and I think that's how it ended up becoming London rivals. Pretty sure that's how it ended up becoming London rivals. I think.
down to 15th place, leading to the shocking departure of both his uncle and his father, he didn't just follow their lead. He went looking for revenge. He could have joined
Yeah.
Leeds United, gotten to play Champions League football, and
Wait,
fought for the
what?
title alongside his
No
old friend Rio
way.
Ferdinand, but instead, he went with West Ham City rivals, Chelsea, who had only ever made it to the UCL once and hadn't won the league since the 50s. As he'd go on to reveal, once at Chelsea, every time West Ham lost, I would smile. That's how deeply they hurt me. I wanted them gone. However,
Yo,
it soon
no, bro. You know how pissed. You know a person is pissed when he joins a rival just to smack you up and down every day. Yo, bro, that was some revenge. And now check is about to do the same with United. I'll put a quote probably somewhere around there, but you see a little. That's crazy, bro.
realized that they weren't his only doubters. Lampard arrived at Chelsea in a €16 million deal that made him their second most expensive signing ever, only behind Hasselbank, which, for a guy who hadn't been called up to the national team since his debut 2 years prior, meant a lot of questions being raised by the fans, especially once he went his first 5 months at the club without a single league goal. Only ever really making headlines when just a few weeks after his debut he was kicked out of a hotel.
Drunken Chelsea stars fined 13,000 for hailing abuse, stripping and vomiting in front of relatives, grieving for 20 hours. What?
Alongside John Terry and Gudjonsson for being drunk and throwing peanuts,
too,
laughing
Janssen.
and shouting at an American couple who were crying as they watched the news broadcasts of 9/11. Yeah. For 2 years, Lampard was moved around by Ranieri, serving as a jack of all trades as they desperately tried to get any return on their transfer market investments, only to reach the end of his second year in such a desperate state financially that, by their final and decisive game against Liverpool, according to some sources, the board had decided that if they lost and failed to get Champions League qualification, Lampard would have been one of the first players to be sold. But not only
what?
did they win, a couple months later, as one newspaper
That's
wrote,
crazy, bro.
billionaire Roman Abramovich parked his
Yeah.
tanks in London and began firing off £50 notes. In the blink of an eye, €100 million in signings arrived at the club, and now, if the already 26-year-old Lampard wanted to keep a place in the team, he'd have to fight Makelele and Veron for it.
That's a
The
tough
clock
battle,
was
bro.
well and truly ticking, and
Those are
to
some
put it
tough
quite
battles.
simply, this scared them straight. Even better, for the first time ever, with a guy like Makelele behind him, Lampard could go forward as much as he wanted without worrying about defensive duties, and the result was phenomenal. Right in September, he was named the League's Player of the Month. 30 days later, he had done it again, and by the end of the year, he was on 23 goal contributions, only missing out on the League's Player of the Season award because of Thierry Henry. Not to mention that England wasn't just calling him up for the Euros, they were benching Paul Scholes in order to play him, and while he casually scored against France and Croatia, as well as the extra time equalizer to force Portugal into a penalty shootout, making it into the
Lampard.
team of the tournament even if they get
Mr.
knocked
Frankie.
out then and there. Well, back in London, Abramovich had replaced Ranieri with a manager who was, as they used to
Jose
say,
Mourinho.
quite special. The moment
Special
Mourinho
one.
stepped into the Chelsea locker room and saw Frank Lampard, he decided he was his chosen one. He brought him to the side and straight up told him, a year ago Deco was the same player he is now, but no one knew. I made him the European Footballer of the Year. You are just as good as Zidane, Vieira or Deco. You are the best player in the world. Now, you just have to prove it. And those were the magic words that brought Frank Lampard to life like a dormant CIA operative. With a world-class manager and a team
the way
built
he
around
phrased
him,
that.
Lampard's numbers blew up to a new level never before thought possible by anyone close to him. By April, not only had he scored against Barcelona and put 3 goals past Bayern Munich, he was topping the Premier League assist charts.
Let's see this. So most assists. Lampard 18, Henry 14. That's Beckham 12. Stuart Downing 11. Antonio Reyes 10. Hold on, guys. Give me a second, real quick. Get a little bit of wrestling here. A little bit of a wrestling thing here. Boom. I don't have to. I'm watching AEW. Them coach so good.
And even giving some of the country's top strikers a run for their money when it came to goal scoring. So much so that with 4 matches left to play, only a year after Arsenal had won the league without a single defeat, he already had
yeah,
Chelsea
this was
1
season.
win away from the title. And of course, it was there that he decided to put down one of his greatest ever performances. Finding the team struggling to break through already 1 hour deep into the game, grabbing onto a lost ball, bullying the first defender onto the ground, going past another and smacking it in, before ending it all 15 minutes later by running the whole length of the pitch in a single counter-attack and having the audacity to dribble past the keeper before putting down the goal of the
beautiful.
title. 50 years
Oh,
later, he had
damn.
made Chelsea champions of England again, and he had done it while putting down 41 goal contributions from midfield, being named Player of the Year by everyone except, ironically, the FA itself, carrying that form straight into the following season, taking the Community Shield and putting down 12 goal contributions over the next 14
Jesus.
matches, leading Chelsea to the greatest Premier League start in history and getting Mourinho to outright name him as the best player in the world,
It
which
was.
was extremely timely as the Ballon D'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year voting had just closed. So when the rankings were revealed, there he
No.
was, Frank Lampard.
Oh, that is fucked up. Wait.
Extremely timely as the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year voting had just closed. So when
Yeah, no, that is fucked up. I didn't hear about this, and I heard about this, and I know that next year he went crazy.
the rankings were revealed, there he was,
No, that is. Yeah, you, you can't really say nothing. Ronaldinho was there too, and that guy was playing for Inter Milan. I'm not exactly sure of his career path, but he was playing for Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Uh, Hold on, let's actually fact check that. Who was Ronaldinho playing for in 2025? I'm actually gonna check that. Yeah, we're fact checking this shit real quick. Actually, give me a little second. So yeah, yep, there, yeah, he played the Barcelona in 2003 2008. Yeah, that's unlucky. That is unlucky. Nah, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that, bro. He was playing for Barcelona. I believe Barcelona won the Champions League at that year. Yeah, let me fact check this again. Who won? Yeah, who won UCL in 2005? Liverpool. Liverpool won in 2005. Yeah. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna take a look at his stats. Let's take a look at this for this. Yeah. Yep. There. Yeah. Not. Yep. That makes sense why he won that. Yeah. That makes sense, bro. Okay. So it says Ronaldinho, 26 goals, 17 La Liga, 7 in the Champions League, which I believe at that time was what he could get to. Yeah. And yeah. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Yeah, Lampard couldn't compete with that. That's unfortunate. Yeah, he couldn't compete with that, unfortunately. And he was playing for Barcelona at that time too. It was full of Messi, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah,
Frank Lampard was second place in both,
that's
only
not bad.
second to Ronaldinho
Wait, they
at
said
that
both?
most. So when the rankings were revealed, there he was. Frank Lampard
Yeah.
was second place in both.
Oh wow.
Only second to Ronaldinho, and that man not
By
had one of
5
the
points.
greatest seasons of all time.
Yep,
We
there you
might
go.
actually be talking about Frank Lampard, West Ham reject, alleged Nepo baby, and Ballon d'Or winner. In
Yeah, that's what I
fact,
said. He was
even
playing for
after receiving
Barcelona.
such an honor, Lampard still could not let go of his grudge against him, claiming that, now that I'm a runner-up for World Player of the Year, I'm sure my critics will have a much harder time explaining their feelings towards me. However, if he thought the challenges of the past had been hard, he had no idea what was coming for him.
Ah, bloody ads. You know, stop posting the ads.
After finishing off that year with a second Premier League title, once John Terry went out with a back injury, Lampard had to take on the captain's armband as Chelsea watched Ronaldo and Rooney snatch the title from the men, as much as Lampard himself went on one of the most legendary FA Cup runs in history, getting 7 goal contributions for the first 3 rounds before putting down a brace to force Tottenham into a tiebreaker, scoring in the semis and assisting the winner in the final in extra time against United. That just wasn't enough to save Mourinho's job. Abramovich was up to a point where he saw complete dominance as the bare minimum, and so by September, Mourinho was gone. Alone, only a month later, Lampard was being booed off the pitch as England missed out on qualification for the Euros.
Yeah.
Then came the injury, 47 days and 14 matches out. And above all, as he desperately tried to claw his way to the Champions League title, scoring and assisting two in the last 16, and then scoring and assisting another to seal their place in the semis. Only days later, his mother suddenly fell ill
Yeah.
and was sent to the hospital in critical state. As he worried about
He's
what may
talking about
happen
this
to her, he
mostly.
still dragged
Yeah.
himself to the pitch for the first leg against Liverpool, but 2 days later, she passed. Even then,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember him speaking about this, and bro, credit for him to be able to drive up and play the match. He did speak about it. I believe it was in a documentary or something like that. He spoke about it. Credit to him for speaking on it, because and also credit for him for driving back then in that day to just to make it to the team in the match. Credit to him, man, because that's not easy to do. Credit to him for doing that.
not only did he show up for the second leg, he scored in extra time, pointing to the sky in what could hardly
Yeah.
be deemed a celebration, and ultimately leading his team to the final where, unfortunately, yet another goal did not prevent him from watching his old friend Terry
Yeah.
slip, miss, and kill their title hopes.
Oh, bro, we should be. Everything I think about that, I didn't watch it because I was a little kid. I probably wasn't watching it. My dad probably ended up watching it, but I was a little kid, so I didn't get to see it. But I'm pretty sure if I could see it, I would been also that would be heartbreaking for me too. But credit for dude. Every time I see that, even though I didn't watch it, it connects with me so well. I don't know why. It just connects with me so well. Because right now, after witnessing us win Champions League, and I believe 2021, oh bro, bro, I would kill to have a third Champions League. And bro, if you go, that was going in.
Leading his team to the final where, unfortunately, yet another goal did not prevent him from watching his old
Look at
friend
this.
Terry slip, miss,
Yeah, that's crazy timing. But that should be going in, bro. That was going in. And bro, we will have three Champions Leagues, bro. Oh, we should have three Champions Leagues, bro. We should. Three Champions League, man. We should have three stars, literally. Three Champions Leagues is what we should have. And we also that's what isn't that hey, you know I might as well go ahead and say we should have four Champions Leagues too. The Real Madrid one, they killed us, bro. Bloody hell. They killed us on that second leg. Which I also think we could have done a little bit better on that one, but bloody hell. Oh, we should have four Champions Leagues by now, bro. We should. I'm not kidding. If everything went our way from all those Champions Leagues that Champions League final and then the Real Madrid semi-final, which is after we won the 2021 Champions League. Oh, we'll have four Champions Leagues, bro. No kidding. That's literally the hot take. Chelsea should have four Champions Leagues.
and kill their title hopes. Still, all throughout this, Mourinho called him, and I quote, every day, every single day, offering the now UEFA Midfielder of the Year a way out of England alongside him at Inter, as he claimed he just couldn't accept the idea of looking up and not seeing his mom in the stands of Stamford Bridge. But in the end, he remembered she had once told him to never forget what these fans had given to a West Ham boy moving across London. So instead, he rejected Mourinho's offer and vowed to not leave Chelsea until he could bring them the
That's crazy, bro. Lampard at Inter Milan. And I believe that was the year they won the treble. That'd be a fucking story, bro. Imagine you go to Inter Milan. Lampard goes Inter Milan. Obviously, you're just going there because of Jose Mourinho. Lampard goes to Inter Milan, wins the treble. I think he'll probably be the one player that will follow Jose Mourinho around if that happened. And then Lampard to Madrid, and then Mourinho leaves, and then goes to Chelsea, and then Lampard comes back. Oh damn, bro, that'd been such a crazy story, bro. I know that's like father and son right there. That is father and son. That's a father and son moment right there. I ain't gonna lie with you. That is crazy, bro. He had a chance to win the trophy. Just said, "Nah, I'm gonna stick my ass in London." Wow. because of my mother. That's cool too. Paying tribute to his mother and all that stuff. Ooh, and bro, to refuse to go to Inter Milan and, and just show West Ham and just say fuck you West Ham. Yes, I want Champions League. So and just say now, what are you saying about me now? 211 goals, top goals scorer of all time Chelsea. Also in the all time assist in the Premier League too. Hey, bro, shit, I don't blame him. I'll do the same shit too.
the Champions League title. So, in a season where still dealing with grief, he had to watch his name get dragged through the mud in between a divorce and a managerial merry-go-round. Lampard
yeah.
still hit 40 goal contributions.
Yep.
The next one, he actually started off on a dry streak, but then, like clockwork, he began firing them off, hitting 15 goal contributions in just the final 11 games of the season, clutching the Premier League title on a final day, and hitting a career high, 45 goal contributions in total, 27 of them being goals, the all-time record for a midfielder. In his own words, I was in a daze. After my
De
mom,
Bruyne-
I couldn't bear to think of anything else other than football. I was one-track minded, no highs, no lows, and oddly enough, that made it easier to play. At 33 years of age, after all of what happened, Lampard had hit such highs
That was
that
still
even
playing.
Mourinho had him back on speed dial, trying to make him his first Real Madrid signing. But
Yeah, I said, hold on, go back.
33 years of age, after all of what happened, Lampard had hit such highs that even Mourinho
Yeah, but what did I tell you? I I just said this earlier on. Inter Milan, Inter Milan to Real Madrid. How could have been Lampard? Goes to Inter, wins the treble with Jose Mourinho, and Jose wanted Lampard everywhere he went. Bro, if a coach wants you like that, hey, bro, I'm saying yes all the time. I'm saying yes all the fucking time, bro. I could have gone to, I could have gone to Inter Milan, won a treble. I could have gone to Inter Milan, win a treble, and then go to Madrid, possibly win a league title. I don't think they won the league title that year. Win a league title, and then come back to England, win the Premier League. Hell, bro. Come on, dude, that is a perfect trophy resume for a midfielder. Comes back to Chelsea, and I believe this will be a time he will be living like, hey, bro, I've taken that shit. I've done that same shit too, but he was paying tribute to his mother, which was cool, and which is a cool thing to do. So that is nice.
had him back on speed dial, trying to make him his first Real Madrid signing. But, as you may imagine, he said no, because he still had a Champions League to win.
Oh, and also to point this out, back then it was not easy to say no to Inter Milan with the players they had. I don't know the players because I don't know their players, but it wasn't easy to say no to Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and Real Madrid back then. It wasn't easy to say no to those two teams. It wasn't. But how can I say no to Inter Milan? Okay, guys, if you hear that, if you hear that the kids are making noise. It wasn't easy to say no to Inter Milan. You probably don't hear, but yeah, it wasn't easy to say no to Inter Milan. It wasn't. No Madrid. So for Lampard to say no to Jose Mourinho twice, same thing with Jose Mourinho too. It's not easy to say no to Jose Mourinho. It was the same thing too. That is ridiculous, bro. Lampard said no to. Think about this: a player saying no to Inter Milan and Jose Mourinho, and then saying another no to Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho. That's difficult to say. That's difficult. Credit to
After that
Lampard.
famous ghost goal for England, Lampard's international career virtually came to an end, and rather unceremoniously. To make
Yeah.
it all worse, he was then hit with 4 more months on the sidelines, and out of nowhere, he began feeling under pressure to leave the club as well. But as the rumors that the end of the Lampard era was near went around while more managers treated Stamford Bridge like a revolving door, without bringing much attention to himself, Lampard began plotting. After a 3-1 defeat to Napoli in the last 16, he showed up with a goal and assist to force the game into extra time and
Yeah.
allowed Drogba to finish
Classic.
the job. Then, in the quarters, he added another goal against Benfica, and now the questions were being raised. How was the club who could barely hold on to a manager in the Champions League semi-finals? Well, the answer to that hit every pundit in the face when they all claimed they would stand no chance against Guardiola's Barcelona, only to watch Lampard bully
Also, by the way, we're gonna put this little fact in here. Messi never scored against us every time we played Barcelona. It's simple. He never scored against us every time we played against Barcelona. Messi never scored against us until as of recently 10, 20 years in the making. He scored against us. I don't know what game it was, but he never scored against us. He has only scored one goal against Chelsea. And guess what? Messi has scored about 20 goals against other teams, back and forth. Not last. So, gonna say he's only scored one goal against us. Duh. And, and bro, and he said it himself. He didn't like facing us, not Terry and I think Terry and I believe it was John Terry and Cahill who the not Cahill. I forgot who the other backline was, but yeah, John Terry was in there. Oh, John Terry and Pilecek. He just couldn't score against Chelsea at that time. He couldn't. He just couldn't do it. Yeah, I think he's only scored one goal against us. And bro, I gotta say, personally that's probably my favorite moment. That's my favorite history of Chelsea. That's my favorite history of Chelsea. Messi not scoring against Chelsea, only scoring against Chelsea once. Like, I'm proud of that, bro. That has to go. That has to go in the history book.
Messi off the ball and play it to Ramirez, who assists Drogba for a first leg 1-0 win. Then, going into the second leg by conceding two and
Camp
losing
Nou.
Terry to a red card
Oh
within
yeah.
44 minutes, only to again witness Lampard playing a magical through ball to Ramirez, who chipped Valdez to
beautiful.
level the aggregate score, allowing Fernando Torres to finish off their miracle in injury time, hugging him in sheer euphoria as Chelsea made it back to the Champions League final. Where, of course, with Terry suspended, Lampard
Ugh.
figuratively
Oh.
and literally captained his team to glory, holding off two of the markers as Drogba headed in the equalizer, eventually stepping up for the shootout itself as Chelsea were down 3-1, extending their lifeline just enough so that Schweinsteiger and Olic could miss, making Chelsea champions of Europe. After that, nothing else mattered.
Yeah, that was
The
when he
next
retired.
season, 3 assists from Lampard within 3 games put Chelsea through to the Europa League final, which of course
yeah.
they'd win. A
Wow.
few more goals made him Chelsea's all-time top scorer again from midfield. And after a late reunion with Mourinho, Lampard was sadly pushed away to Man City, eventually retiring in the MLS as the Premier League's 4th highest ever goal
Yeah, there you go,
scorer.
fourth.
Not a single winger had ever managed his way into the top 10, and somehow, now, a midfielder was up to 4th. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Frank Lampard. Simply unprecedented.
Sometimes
Oh my god, man. Oh, this is I think this is the longest video I've done. I've been going on for 31 minutes. That is crazy, bro. Despite this, I lost my headphones on the floor. Surprisingly enough, yeah, well, I didn't know that. Oh, this is so good. Nah, shout out to Frank Lampard, huge legend, Chelsea legend, by the way, Premier League legend too. Deserves. Also good for him. Which didn't go in the Hall of Fame. Beautiful. Love to see that he got into the Hall of Fame. So that's so good. Love that. Yeah, love that he got into the Hall of Fame. No, wait, he's in the Premier League Hall of Fame. I don't think he is. Hold on. Is Frank Lampard in the Premier League Hall of Fame? Oh yes, he was. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, he was inducted in May of May 2021. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll put a picture up there probably. I don't know where it is. Yeah, picture should be right at and hold on. Yeah, picture should be should just pop. It should pop. Yeah, English. It should pop up right there. The picture should pop up right there. Anyways, nah. Yeah, credit to him for being in the Hall of Fame. That's nice. Love to see him, man. Deserves a Chelsea legend, Premier League legend. Doesn't get enough credit. I was trying to compare him to some others that can't even be compared to Lampard. Let's be honest. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I forgot, but yeah. Nice. This is a good video. Shout out to Daily Dose of Football. Video was supposed to be at least 15 minutes, but I went for 33 minutes. I had to kind of interrupt here and there. But hey, I got to make this a little bit longer to get like the views and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, man. I need that 1,000 views, bro. Anyways, yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. And also, 3 videos should be out today. You'll be getting 3 videos, depending on how long the edit takes. If the edit takes a little bit longer, you'll probably end up getting. This might end up going up the next day. So today's Wednesday, so maybe up on Thursday, depending on how the edits takes for all the 3 videos. So yeah. Anyway, guys. So make sure to go check out my music reaction video. It should be it should be in the outro. And also, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Adios. See you soon.
You get one chance, one opportunity to make a first impression, so impress me and speak truthfully. I'll match your energy if you don't want an enemy. Then be friendly and maybe we can